channel. My name is Katarina and I'm the person behind By Katarina Designs, and we're about to start a new weekly journal. So if you want to follow along and watch until the end to see what I'm working on this week, what I will be able to finish or not to finish and so on, then please keep watching. So this week I am still working on the second sleeve of the scrappy knitted sweater. I'm about to finish the last sleeve, so I'm not that behind with this one. And then, as you can see, the Jenna sweater is finally dry and I was able to put it on to show it to you today. I do think that the sleeves are a bit longer, but I'm not sure if I want to remove 2 rows from the length or not. But yeah, I might let it like this because I don't feel like I want to undo, ravel and take it all over again to consider this project not finished yet. So, and I started to work on the mossy jacket. I was telling you last week that I'm planning to do another one, to make a video tutorial for it, to update the pattern and so on. So kind of these are the projects right now: to write the pattern for the Jenna sweater, to keep working on the mossy jacket, and to finish the sleeve for the scrappy knitting sweater. But I forgot last week that I didn't include into my plans the mosaic crochet sweater that I wanted to start a new one with the new yarn that I ordered. So if I will have enough time, I do want to make sure that I have the proper fit for that one as well. Maybe at least do some math or something like that. So yeah, let's see what this week will bring us. I'm going to buy a few things for dinner right now. I was working on a new project because I had a question about the round yoke construction, and I said that it would be a good idea to work a sweater for my daughter and to share with you some tips. Okay, so I came back from the shop and I told you that I will show you what I would. Why is my hair staying like this? Whatever. So I had a question about the round yoke, and I was thinking, because this year at the beginning of this weekly journals I was doing the round yoke challenge, trying to explain how to calculate those stitches, how to calculate the yoke increases for the raglan sweater. But I realized that the math behind it is crazy, is insane. So I'm sure that it's difficult even for us, for designers, to grade the pattern, to do everything. But the actual process of making is not difficult at all. So I was thinking, while answering the question that I got from Monica. So my idea was to share with you a few tips, because she also said that she find a lot of explanation, but the time is so short and she doesn't have time to dig into all those things to figure out how or what it's all about. So now I will show you how to make a round yoke sweater the easy way. And I started here one sweater for my daughter with this chenille yarn, I think it's called. And I chose this yarn because it's her favorite. She wanted, I made a pusheen stuffed toy with it, and I said that it would be cute in a sweater. So the idea of this sweater, I'm not thinking about the increases. I'm just giving you a few tips, and then I will show you how I figured out the pattern, the increase pattern, while I was working on. So the main idea is to use a sweater that you already have if you're working it for you, and if you're making the sweater for you, it's even easier because you can try it on and adjust it on the way. But if not, I am just using the one sweater that I had for my daughter, and I'm following the shape of that sweater. And don't worry, it's not a round yoke sweater, but in the end, at the end of the yoke, we all need sleeves and body. So it's all about sleeves and body, so it's nothing that we cannot follow some different pattern. So let me show you right away how I work the sweater, because now that I split it into sleeves and body, everything gets easier. It's becoming easier right now, and how to figure out those increases, how to figure out increase pattern, and so on. And I hope these tips will help you, because before knowing all the math behind it, I still was doing sweaters, so without knowing anything. So I was just figuring out on the road, and this is something that you can do as well. And yeah, let's see what you think. Okay, so I chose the yarn. It is Honey Bunny from Hobby. I think the recommended crochet hook size is 7mm, but I will be using an 8mm crochet hook. And I have a sweater that my daughter has already, and I know that it fits well. So I will try to follow the shape of this sweater. As you can see, it's a raglan sweater, so it's not a round yoke sweater, but the shape will work. So now I'm starting to chain. The most important thing is that to make sure that this yarn won't stretch or won't I don't know, that has a good memory, because otherwise you might end up with a bigger sweater if after blocking, especially if it's merino. So now I will chain, but most of the mixes like acrylic, cotton, and so on will work. And I will be measuring around the neckline, but lower the ribbing, so below the ribbing, because I will want to add a ribbing, so I want to make sure that I am with my length below that ribbing. So after I'm having the width of the collar and I had 20 stitches, I will work 40 stitches in this case to cover the back panel as well. So I will chain 40 this time. Okay, I will fold it in half and I will put it over the collar and below the ribbing and see how it works. So it's looking great. So now I will have to chain one more because I want to keep having 40 stitches. And I will start into the second stitch to single crochet. As you can see, I didn't join in the round yet because I do want to first of all to keep the chain not twisting, so I will join after working this round, but I do want to see how the length will remain after making the single crochet row. So I am okay with it. So now I can continue and joining, and we will work in spiral. So we will not join, we will simply work the first single crochet into the first stitch. Now I have 40 stitches. This 40 number is divisible with 2, with 4, with 10, with 8, with 5 with 20. So always when I'm dividing the number to see how to make the increases, I'm using the biggest number. So in this case, it will be 20, not 40. We won't take the 40, but we will take 20, which means that I will increase with 20 stitches. And I'm choosing the biggest number or the biggest divisible round to add in my increase round, to add that number of stitches, because this will allow me to work more rounds without increasing after an increase round. So this will keep me to have more rounds into my increase pattern. So if I'm increasing with 20 stitches, this means that at every other stitch I will need to make an increase. So I'm working 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase until I will finish this round. So remember, this is the thing that you need to remember, that always to increase with the biggest number of stitches that your foundation is divisible with. Okay, now I finished the first round, I have the increase round, and now I know I added sufficient stitches, and I will continue to work single crochet rounds. So I'm using a stitch marker to mark my first stitch, and I will work in the spiral. So no joining, because I don't want any lines to be here. We are keeping it as easy as possible. So always remove the stitch marker from the first stitch and continue working and placing the stitch marker. Now I work one more row and it's looking perfect, so I can still keep working on my single crochet rounds without making any increase. Okay, I work one more row, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as you can see, my edge is starting to curl. So this is a sign that it needs more increases. So I'm having 4 rounds, counting the first round as well without increases, and 1 with increases, and now my yoke is starting to curl. So the edges are getting outside. So, and as you can see, when we place it over the sweater that we have, it's starting to be smaller. So now I will repeat the increase pattern. So I will increase again with 20 stitches, which means that the third stitch will be with an increase. Okay, so I increase again now, and now it's starting to look better, so it's better this way. So now I will try to repeat the pattern. So I have now 6 rows, so I had 1 increase round and 4 without increasing, counting the first round as well. So this is what I will be doing next. I will after the second row with increases, I will continue and add 4 more rows without increasing. I'm checking all the time with the sweater that I'm following the pattern for. And as you can see, after finishing again, my edge is starting to curl. So let's see how it is looking. So I started with 40 stitches, I added 20 at the first and again 20. So now after 2 sets of increasing, my edge is starting to curl again, so I will do another increase round. And now that I established kind of a pattern, I'm trying to follow the same. So I will increase with 20 stitches and then followed by 4 rounds without increasing. Of course, depending on the yarn and what you are using, you might have different number of rows in between the increasing rows. So now I will increase again with 20 stitches. I have 80 stitches, so this means that every 4th stitch will be an increase. And then I will follow with another 4 rounds without increasing, trying to keep up with the pattern that I did at first, but you don't have to stick with that. If you notice that maybe your yoke is kind of getting too big, then you can add less stitches. You have 80 stitches, you can increase with 8, with 20, with any other multiple or number that is divisible with, that 80 is divisible with. So you need to just follow the shape of the sweater that you have as guidance, and then to try to add the number of stitches that you need. And always the sign that you need more stitches to add is when your edge is getting curled on the outside. Yes, so it doesn't have a perfect circle. At some point you'll see that this shape or the round yoke doesn't need to be a perfect circle. So now I finished all the rounds and I have 100 stitches right now. The size of the yoke looks perfect, so I am on the same size with the sweater that I'm using as guidance. But now after making this yoke, I can see that I can still have a bit to get to the armpit. And here is what you can do, because if I'm increasing now another 20 rounds, I might get too big, with the yoke. And of course it depends how the other sweater that you are choosing is fitting. So now after having this, either if you're counting and you think that you have enough stitches for sleeves and for the body, you can either go with more rounds or you can add an armpit chain. If you're adding an armpit chain, this will elongate your armhole. Okay, so I decided to stop here with my yoke, because another thing that you need to pay attention of is that this edge of the yoke is rounded. So if you're going exactly into the edge of your body where the sweater that you're following as guidance has the edges, and you are going there into those stitches, because this is a rounded shape, when you're adding and working the rows, this will get bigger because you don't have a straight line. The number of stitches into a round is more, you have more stitches there than into a straight line. So now that we established that I finished with the yoke, I'm dividing the total number of stitches that I have by 6, and I will have 2 parts for front and back and 1 part for the sleeves. Now this, my 100 stitches is not divisible exactly by 6, so I will try to approximate the number of stitches that I have. So if I'm using 33 stitches for front and back, and then I will add 17 stitches for the sleeves, and it equals 100, so it's perfect. So now you can either add armpit chains if you need to elongate the armhole a bit, and also to add a few more stitches to the sleeves and body, or you can go without the armpit chain. The armpit chain is can be skipped if the armhole depth or the yoke depth is bigger. Okay, so if it's getting down below the armpit, you don't necessarily need this armpit chain. So now I will start to split into sleeves and body, and I will work first the back panel stitches, 33 we calculated, and then after finishing the 33 stitches I will skip 17 stitches for the sleeve and go into the 8th directly. Here is where you should chain the number of stitches for the armpit if you want or like to make an armpit chain, or if you want to add a few more stitches to the sleeves and body. Now I will continue with the front panel stitches, 33 again. And then I will skip the stitches for the sleeve. You should have the exact number of stitches that you established for the sleeve. And because we are working in spiral, I will go into the first stitch and start working my second round. So now we will continue and work in the round for as many rows as we want until we will get to the desired length. Most probably my sleeves here will be a bit narrower than the original design, original sweater, but as I don't plan to make any decreases on it, I think it will be perfect. So now after working a few rows on the body, you can see that it's actually a good shape and a good size. Okay, so this is how the sweater is looking after finishing it. I used 3 skeins, and because I didn't have enough for the collar, I just used this furry yarn for the collar. Here I used a smaller crochet hook size because I wanted to make it a bit smaller and just work single crochet stitches. And because I was using it at the neckline, I said that it would be nice to work some surface slip stitches for the cuff. So yeah, I didn't film the entire process because I was thinking that the main idea is to see how to easy make the yoke. Then I simply worked single crochet in the same spiral rows, and for the ribbing I used a double slip stitch using a 6.5mm crochet hook. So yeah, but you can finish it however you want. So unfortunately I cannot show it to you on my daughter yet because it will be a present, but I hope you will try to make one. If you have any questions related, because with the sleeves I just join at the armpit and work the same in spiral rows, and I follow the length of the other sweater. So yeah, this is it. Hey, I hope this was useful for you and you will try to make a round yoke sweater using a sweater that you have in your wardrobe already. I tried this method so many times because at the beginning this was what I was doing to create my own clothes. I was just following the shapes of the clothes that I already had. I think it's working and it will work for you as well. So I hope these tips that I give you in this tutorial will help you out. And let me know if you have any other questions, suggestions that you might be interested to find out how I'm doing the things, then I will be happy to share it with you. So thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye!